Hello. I'm sorry, my internet is not too good today, so I have to quickly fix something, but I'll be right back.
Thank you, Max. We'll see you soon.
Hi, Barbara. Hi, Nadine.
Hi, Daya.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling a little better today. Kind of intense last week. How about, are you finding a place to live?
Yeah, I found a place, and I'm waiting to hear back about their internet connection because apparently, well, there's no clarity in terms of the possibility of upgrading it. So I'm waiting to hear back to see if that's where we're gonna live. Hopefully, that's gonna happen today.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning, Nadim and Max.
Good morning. Whew.
Good morning, Max.
Hi. I'm not quite here yet. It seems. But
Do you want a few minutes? We can do a few minutes, cameras closed and a bit of silence before we come back.
yeah, that's very good. Very good idea. Yeah, let's have that.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. 5 minutes.
Cool.
Good.
Okay.
Take it. Hello, everybody. Ah, it is lovely indeed to see you guys. Oh, on girls. Oh, God. Actually, it does not feel like it has been forever for me. Surprising. So, Justin is here. Apostle and Alicia are coming back soon. Check in. I'm so out of it, I need a check-in. I start. So today is my first day out of retreat, and it doesn't feel like it. I'm still kind of in it, almost even more than like a week ago or so. Yeah, I really I enjoyed it very much. And there's kind of that space of like, yeah, I don't know what I want to do now, actually. Like it's almost like getting out of school for me. It's like, kind of having a journey behind you, and I don't feel like defining what is ahead too much, and so it's quite open. The horizon is free and broad. And also, I feel very much just like just continue to sit here and just be here and and nothing else. And I very much feel like being anchored in that home that Nadine was talking about last time. For me, maybe it's a different home, but it feels like that one. And yeah, maybe we can all be there today together. That would be cool. Yeah, that's me. How about you, Barbara? How are you?
Thank you. I'm feeling out of balance. Yeah, so if I were to describe how it feels, I like using geometric shapes. And so it's like, normally I think it's like when you're in balance, I think it's like a line, right? And it just fluctuates very softly. And lately I've felt that line became like a circle, and it has its edges are just kind of like beaming out of it very angularly and sporadically, searching. And so that, imagine this sphere just with these edges coming out and just like, and it's kind of like nonstop, and that has a lot to do with the movement of the mind. And so I've been struggling to find myself in the middle of everything that I have been doing. So there's a lot of doing and not much being. And I see the need to ground myself maybe do more meditation, some breath work, maybe a bit of fasting, to calm down the mind and come back to the center and just allow this sphere to find its true form, you know. So that's me. Thank you. I'm going to pass it to Nadine.
We can't hear you, sadly. Your microphone doesn't seem to be in. Nay, nay, nay. Do you want to pass it to someone else, Nadim, until you can speak?
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, I'm like a 72 out of 100. I'm still laying here on the floor in my room in the dark. I'm not for a little bit, but not too long. I didn't know Max was on retreat, but I think I also took a retreat for the last 2 weeks, so twins. And so for his flow is on point. I'm working on mine still. Another point. And then I think also like it's also a I don't know. I was also resonating with the geometry of mind, and just thought I'd bring some celestial weather in. That there's like a. I was talking to Di about this last night. There's like the crown is like lit up in H human design for the next almost like 2.5, 3 months. So there's a big pressure of mental doing, and the need to like get things there. And then it's like, but then it's hard to always realize what there is. In this particular week, the 34, so it's like force to majesty through strength, but it's the strength of like it's the force of like feeling that pressure and then acting upon it in ways that goes against the natural flow of life. And the strength comes from the softness to be able to hear all of that and still do what you don't know, even if the pressure's there to do what you do think you know. I don't know if it makes sense or not. But the strength is almost the opposite of what we often consider strength. Is like a softness and a flexibility and being malleable with life instead of going where our mind is telling us to go sometimes. And I feel that pressure hard right now. To get somewhere, to be someplace, to solve the thing. But I'm also really recognizing how many times or how many of these problems that I've been trying to solve for like years. Like the same thing. I'm like, wait a second, this looks familiar. Wasn't I here last year? And it's like so getting my circles to spiral, maybe and break through some things is what I notice I have been doing, and also noticing the deeper rhythms and patterns and structures that they're almost they're years old, like, and those things they don't know how to deal with. So I think hopefully I'll just call in for this self, but also collectively for the strength to meet all the things that we think that we know in all the ways that we've never known, to meet them in as a new way of showing up and solving the challenges of our times, personally and collectively. Yeah. I'll pass it to Daya.
Hi, thanks, Justin. Nice to see you all. Yeah, I feel a lot of the same things that Justin was talking about. And in a way, it initially when I started feeling certain things, I was actually like irritated that because I was like, what is this? This is just like this giant loop and I'm looping it again. So, but now actually that's morphed into something quite a bit more productive and things that I can clear that I couldn't or didn't know about before. So that a lot of this kind of thing's been going on, and that's always really like exhausting. And so I felt exhaustion this last week, and but I've connected with a few people, and those are really nice connections, like a couple new connections, and one with I don't know if any of you ever met Rachel, who was a short part spent a short part of time in Seeds, but I reconnected with her, and yeah, and she's going through the same thing. So I think we're all in our own, of course, individual ways, as always, dealing with a whole lot right now. A whole lot. Like actually, there's a photograph that NASA took of the Northern Lights. I don't know if anybody saw them, but it's this enormous from out of the atmosphere, looking on Earth. I believe it's the South Pole. It's either the North or the South Pole, so it has to be the South Pole. There is just this enormous ring. The Northern Lights have created this enormous ring of their lights, and it's just pulsing and glowing. So if we think that there's a lot of pulsing and glowing inside, and it might be a little uncomfortable. Well, the Earth we're right there with the Earth, and yeah, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful photo. Sure, it's easy to access. And yeah, so Max, I'm really glad you're feeling at home, and I have to think about that more. I have to embrace that thought more. That feels like a really good thought. Yeah, that's me right now. Thank you, and I will pass it to Alicia. Are you still here?
Thank you. Thank you for pronouncing my name right. I didn't hear if there was a question or it's just landing.
Yeah, just checking in.
Okay. Yeah, I feel what people have said resonates. I was thinking that it's been a period of where there is something happening that says, now you stop and you're going to look in here. That's it. Don't give me any choice. You stop. And somehow I feel right now coming to a maybe a place where I could see what's been happening in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe there is still other forces still going to centrifuge me somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, that's me feeling calm today. But with the knowledge that it's been a deep, dark journey, which was needed for me. And it was a stop. It was a sort of, okay, now is the time. So yeah, I think that's me. And I don't know if Apostle has spoken. If not, then I'd love to hear from you.
I haven't. Thank you. I actually missed a couple of shares. I was away and came up for Justin's, sometime in the middle of Justin's share. Lovely to see everyone here. It seems like we're a similar crowd as last week. Yeah, a little bit more, a little bit how am I? I'm well. I'm exploring the part of me that there's a bunch of parts of me that came up the last couple of months, but more likely a couple of weeks, about organizing and leading and showing up and making things happen. And I'm usually a very, active person, having a couple of different projects at the same time, most of the time going on. And I have like 4 now, but this part of me came up 2 weeks ago that was just like, I really want to play this game. It was one of my childhood games that I played a lot, got a remake video game, and I was just like, I saw that the remake was live, and and this part of me is like, oh my fucking god, I want to play this. And it's a huge, you know, it's a huge conflict in me, because I have 4 projects that I'm doing at the same time. I don't have time to play games. And yeah, I guess this part of me just wants to have time off or something, just to have time to just wind down and you know, do something that is not a performance. Yeah, Alicia, yeah. Kind of feel that all my projects have a performative part on them, so I have to show up and actually deliver something and do something that is going to be significant in the world, and or has to be significant in the world, or at least some people will see it. And maybe I just want to have some time where that doesn't happen, that I'm doing something that is just like meaningless or something. And I feel bad about it, that I'm doing it. I feel like a lot of guilt around it, but I still, yeah, I'm still exploring how to integrate this into my life, so I actually am able to deliver on my 4 projects and not like abandon them. And at the same time, this part of me doesn't throw any tantrums and get depressed or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I guess that's me. I don't feel anything else that I would like to share. Looking forward to the week, actually. It could be a pretty interesting week. And I'm not sure if Nadim went. So I'm passing on to Nadim. Okay, so then Barbara. Okay.
Everyone
Anyone?
went. Yeah.
Everyone went. Okay, I'm the
I mean,
last one.
Nadim didn't check in, but he can't speak. So, or we
Okay.
can't hear him when he speaks, at least. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the last Mohican. I don't know how to pronounce that. Have you seen that movie? It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you say the last Mohican?
Yeah, I think so. But my pronunciation was different of Mohican.
Wow, I remember that, but I don't remember it at all. It's good.
Very good.
Oh,
I find it, but I'm also someone who has no idea if it's actually accurate or like
Hollywood.
Hollywoody. Yeah. But actually, Apostle, thank you for sharing that, because that came to mind like not last week, the week before last week. People reached out to me and were like, dude, we have to play again World of Warcraft, because that one, at least for them, was like remade, no? And I was like, dude, I'm in retreat. I can't. Like, it's not. But so many people were like, dude, we have to play again. Because we did play that like 15 years ago. It's like,
Yeah.
And I was like tempted to be like, it would be a cool thing to go back into that world of like being 15. But I also brushed it off as like, I don't have time. Like it's like waste of time, sort of like even after my retreat, it will be a waste of time. But actually, like, who am I to say that? Like, maybe it's not a waste of time.
You're
So
so grown up.
what do you mean?
It's like I was talking about Diablo 2, which got a remake in September, and it's very interesting because all my memories from that time when I played it, they started coming to me. Like it was like all that, like, and maybe that's significant because I was quite lonely at that time, and it was a way for me to actually, playing the game was actually a way for me to connect with other people and find some community, find some, I cannot say friends, but at least people to hang out with in the internet cafes that I was visiting. And it's all these feelings came up as well. And maybe that's why it's not just like thinking about it once. I was like 3 or 4 days waking up and thinking about that, and contemplating it and meditating on it, and I don't know, whatever, you know. And yeah, it's funny how you have plans, but the universe have its own plans, has its own plans for you. Yeah. And yeah,
I
who's
don't
to
think
say
that
it's a waste of time? Also, as Alicia said, who is to say that it's a waste of time? Go, Alicia.
I don't think it's a good thing to stop playing. I think we should never stop playing. But life takes over, kind of thing. It's a good thing. It's a good practice to play.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But I think the significance there is sort of the lightness that you can feel from it, compared to, yeah, compared to the things I have to do. Even if I want to do them, but I know they take effort. If it becomes like a task thingy, then even when you play like a computer game, then things can become quite like, like work, like a seemingly work. Oh, I have to do that. I have to go out there into this dungeon and kill that mob because I need to farm that item there. That can also happen. So I guess we are talking about the spirit of play, and yeah, I look forward to see how long that spirit of play will last for my friends who now started to play that game, because it's a challenge to keep that up. And like, if anyone who has children or remembers when they were young, all these years ago, that when we play, then it's not just one thing we do, but there's so much to do and so much to discover, and every day something new. And that is sort of something we don't really nurture, that possibility of having that, because we kind of need to excel in something. And that was something that came up for me in my meditation as sort of a mental block sometimes, of like, I can't do anything. Like I'm a master of none, like really a master of none. But not like a jack of all trades, but like kinder, not even that. But definitely not a master of anything. And that, like, if I weren't so blessed by life itself, like I'm really so blessed by life, if I wouldn't know that, then I mean the sheer mental pressure of just like if you're not good at something specific, how are you going to be successful? Like kind of that image of like how are you going to do that? And so if I have to pursue something, like I am good at drawing, relatively good. And so I was going into that direction once upon a time, and then design and all that. And I just could see, like, if I have to do it, the fun goes out of it. Like the fun disappears. So I stopped because I didn't want to like just do something to be good at it, but I don't like doing it. And this reminds me of that play. Like as soon as like the spirit of play goes away, it becomes sort of that work habit. And I never managed to keep that up for so long that I become a master of anything. But I'm really good at many things, but not a master. Yeah. That's it. Share.
No,
Share.
this is why I kind of started painting, because I needed something in my life that was not serving other people's needs. Like I kind of feel that when I do a lot of things in my life, I do them as an art. So I put a lot of myself into them in order to make them very, very good. But still, if you make something that other people use or other people need, you have to take their needs into account. And then what you imagine, your idea, gets transformed along the way by their feedback and what they like, what they need and what they like wanna, like, you know, how do they see the thing that you're creating that they're impacted by. And I kind of needed something that just basically does not have that into it. So that was painting, is that thing that just it's about pure creation that is currently also a little bit limited by my own skills in painting, because I'm not like a very good at it. I'm not like a pro. I just like to do it. But and learn as I go, basically. But it's not limited by other people's views and other people's expectations and feedback and everything. Yeah. I guess if I was a freelance, artist, that would be, I would need to take that into account. But yeah, it's kind of not about money. It's not about making money from the art. It's just the joy of the fun and the joy, as Max said.
Are you complete?
Yeah.
I wanted to join in this conversation from Max and Apostle. because what came to me when you were talking is it's much better to play at something you don't know anything about. It gives you the opportunity to be creative, to be silly, you know, to try and to try again and to try again and to try again. I think that's perhaps what you partly were describing, Max, and also Apostle. It's like, okay, you are in a unknown territory and you're in and you're playing. So yeah. And it's good what you said, Apostle, as well, about other people's expectations, is learning to be with yourself and not, and laughing, you know, rather than feeling bad about not doing it right. Just being in completely. I think that's the good thing about playing. It's like, it doesn't matter as long as you're in, you're playing, you know. You feel those feelings in your body, that means you're playing, rather than doing something that needs to be done. There is no aim, there is no objective. They're amazing feelings. We don't practice very often. Anyway, I was asking if this is an intro to the game we're playing today.
So I don't know if that's something people would know about, but I don't. Or if it's generally a question if there is a game we are playing today in the inner space, or if we are playing a game after that. Good. Definitely yes. For me, a yes. And for me, a yes. Yeah, I would be interested now to know kind of. I don't have an answer yet or a question yet, but sort of the feeling is what does it mean for us to be playful? Justin?
I feel like when I'm not sure what time it was, but it was like it was around like when Javi first got into this ecosystem where the word play really came alive. Everyone and like Bongi was using it a lot, and there's just this real emphasis on play. And so it's really interesting to kind of see it here today, and to check in on myself and be like, because then I was like, I don't get it. Like, okay, you're saying the word play, but it doesn't look like it doesn't feel. I don't know how that's here, or how that's that, or how this can be. I don't know. I'm kind of a, you know, I'm I have I don't know if I'm playful or not. I'm kind of playful. Maybe I'm something, but maybe like more like my Irish roots. I have more of like I have more of like a more of like a of a of a kind of a tricky wordsmithy kind of thing going on versus the play. Like, yeah, most of my life is pretty intently occupied toward moving towards something. It's hard to name sometimes, and that doesn't leave a lot of room for. I mean, just in alignment with what's being said here, and in the last like 4 or 5 days, I saw myself type out play like 4 times. I was like, what is this? Who are you? what are you doing? What are you, you know? And asking myself, was it true or was it genuine? And I think the thing that I was feeling or that I'm feeling now too is um, like a choiceness. Um, it brought me back to this moment when I first got into the system, and I was doing the morning calls with Reiki, these like 3 a.m. calls, and it was really where Samara was really being defined and built, and it was kind of this low key meeting, and then I was like, oh shit, and I found it and got really participated in it, and got to really but one day I asked the question about the nature of the game, like, and it led to this really interesting conversation and an opportunity where Rocky said, well, if you propose a different kind of field or different type of game for Samara, then just put it forward, see, on Monday. and and I couldn't write proposals then or now either. Not my strong suits, not proposals. But I remember this working with that and that contemplation. I don't think it ever left, honestly. I think it's still ingrained in a lot of the things that are going on, and I bring that up because it's like the game as a field, the game as the nature of the thing that we are already in, and then like recognizing that it is that, and then deciding how we want to play or not, or is this the game that we choose, which is kind of taking the play out of play. But for Justin, this is like where that is it though. Recognizing how many things I imagine are the way things are, and then getting to rewrite them in myself, and then meet reality of with that rewritten narrative, and then seeing what happens. And I laugh and I cry and I sing and I dance and I type and I yell and I draw and I do all kinds of stuff that's most of the time pretty nonsensical. And yet it has that innate spirit of play because of the nature of how I claim the game, or reject it, I'm sure. Yeah.
Can I ask, before anyone else shares, Justin, do you have sort of for yourself a definition, like an example of how play would feel for you, something that you could connect to as something that resembles play for you? Yeah, Justin.
What resembles play for me? Well, I think I was going with the all inclusive life, but I think that you're saying this doesn't that doesn't count as an answer. Because I don't know. Let's see. Let's play. I don't know. I mean, but it was kind of my answer. Like, although in that picture Joaquin has of that guy sitting, or that figure sitting cross-legged, and it's like this intersection of work, play, and learn. I mean, that's like the thing. It's like the place to sit, and it's like, I can see in the slide if you want to see the slide, but that doesn't feel. It's not answering your question, but it's like, I mean, with the way that I move through moods and the way that my brain abstracts, it's like it really is like a lens or a choice of perspective about the nature of what I'm in, and if I can hold all three of those at a center, then like that's my ideal place to be. Honestly, maybe the fourth dimension I'm not sure about yet, but like, um, um, but that feels pretty. It feels pretty accurate. Like, um, waking up to the ability to. I don't know. I'm being like way esoteric or like kind of out there, or lofty or away from the question, but it's kind of the thing I was saying, which is the spirit of play as a choice and a decision to recognize the game that I'm in, which I do, and then to play it. And it is like work, it is like learning, education, learning kind of stuff, but also it's there's moments where they just kind of become one, but the task is not really what's important, I don't think. It's more like the nature of how I'm approaching it, or who I'm approaching it with, or how I can remember to feel about it. Like the innocence and joy of a child, or even of a teenager, or even of a grown person who's got innocence and joy. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, that was not a direct answer, but that's what I got. I think right now.
I found an answer in that, so it's good. Thank you, Jesse. Anyone else? That's something.
For me, play has a lot to do with self-allowance. I see a lot of myself in what you said, Max, earlier, in what Apostle shared about guilt and, having so many things to do, even if they're things that you've chosen to do, that you don't see space to just play and be, And so play to me has a lot to do with freedom and sovereignty. It's going back to that state of non-attachment when we're children, when we're simply curious about the world. And that's what fills our days and our way of seeing and feeling. There's nothing to be done. And we are actually moving away from what needs to be. We don't want to do the dishes. We don't want to shower. We don't want to eat sometimes. We just want to play, because it's through play that we discover the world, and we feed that ever expanding curiosity that we need to respond to. It's like it's who we are when we are children. We just want to discover things, and we want to explore, and it's non-objective. It's when I say this, is like there's no end to it. There's not a goal. I just want to go through this process because it makes me feel alive, and the results are just organic. There's no expectation towards what can be or how it needs to be done. I just want to be in this space of exploration. And I think that when we become adults, many things happen that move us away from that space. And it becomes harder for us to create that allowance for ourselves, as if play was something wrong that, obviously it depends on the way we grew up or were raised, and, all of that stuff that is very individual and particular to our cultures and our family cultures and our inner cultures, But when we're children, we're sovereign. There's no attachment to the past or the future. We're present right now. And so I think that play has a lot to do with cultivating the present moment and just being in that space. It's flow state, isn't it? And then what happens at the same time, and that to me is where the problematic lies, is right now I have my days just like Apostle. I have lots of things going on at the same time. And I've chosen to do all of them, and then I often see myself in this space where I don't even make time to eat because I'm so absorbed by what I'm doing. And, there's a huge discussion in terms of how before we had burnout because of the amount of work that we were doing and because of responsibilities, because of what we've been told to do, you know. And now we burn out because we're passionate about something, because we're driven by love and we're driven by this force that wants to co-create and transform the world, you know. So in a way that's play as well, but it's not that playful space of balance, I guess, and that freedom that we were talking about. We get absorbed by the doing and the accomplishing and getting somewhere, as opposed to just being in that space and enjoying the journey. And so yeah, these are some of my struggles sometimes. I easily get swallowed by what I'm passionate about, and then it becomes very serious, you know. So if I start writing something, at first it comes from a place of, you know, I'm from spirit, I'm channeling, and there's that state of flow, and then I want to control the words, because, you know, there's like the part of me that is the word architect, and I go, this word can be better, that word, or how about the syntax of this sentence? And then it's like, and then the process becomes stiff and rigid because I want to control it, because there's an inner expectation that is in part mine, and also, as I said earlier, borrowed unconsciously from the outside. It's like, oh, now I want to show this. And then, you know, there's there are so many things. I think that we're all tied at a certain measure, different measures, to a need of approval from ourselves or from someone else or many people, you know, and that's how we experience guilt. So it's very complex. But if I were to choose a word to talk about play, from my perspective, considering these things I said in my personal struggles, play is freedom. I feel free when I fully allow myself to play and not worry about what was or what will be. Yeah.
I have to say in between here that I was thinking what beautiful words you use to describe all of that. I was like, oh, damn. If I would be in habit to write things down, I should have written them down. And like that was beautiful for me. It was beautiful. So yeah, really cool. Resonate a lot.
Oh, I'm just reading Justin's message. Yes, I want to say it's a space where the mind doesn't take over. It's all in the body, even if you're just doing a play in the computer. It's actually experiencing that all the other types of intelligences we have that have nothing to do with thinking. We get to use gut feeling and instincts, and we can't explain things, and yeah, we might hear or smell or I don't know, say stuff that has nothing to do with the reason or the demands, you know, of the adult world. Is to do with, yeah, what our body knows and our body wants to experience. Yeah. Yeah. Mind not taking over is one main characteristics of playing for me.
Nadine, can you maybe try to say something? Maybe.
Maybe. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, good to see you. Good to hear you. And thank you for inviting me to talk. I like games where you don't have to talk. So it's like, yeah, with a joystick or soccer game or basketball games could be as well. But more the games where you don't have this kind of competition, like more these big world games where you are against a huge amount of a big crowd, or like yeah, you against the world. But yeah, because in the real life it's me with the world, and then in the game we can do the other way. Why not? Yeah. And playing game is kind of having fun, having joy. This is the most important thing, and this is where we can make everything as a game. So that's why I'm still in the Seeds ecosystem and all that, because of the spirit of playing in the game and the different language we use. And even sometimes we forget it, but if we still use the language, it reminds us every time. And yeah, let's meet tomorrow and play together. Sounds weird for someone else, but for us it's beautiful. And I try to use these terms all the day. Yeah. If we start the morning with a big smile, then the whole day could be a joyful, playful day. And like if I trust the universe, trust the flow, trust the people around me, and trust that I am protected, that I am, when I'm in good vibe, then I am protected, and then I can trust. And then when I trust, I will be always fine. I will be always okay, and then I can play. I can have fun, and I don't need all these securities. I think the joy goes away when we need securities, and then we attach to these securities. Yeah. But when we trust, then we can play and have fun and just go with it, and whatever comes in the way. And even having this kind of bigger picture, like my life is not the only thing. There is much more after that, and there was much more before that. So this is only a small picture, and whatever happens in this lifespan, whatever could be, it could be the worst thing. It's nothing compared to what was before, and nothing what will compared to what will come. So with this mindset, having a big picture, a big view on the whole existence, from the beginning to the end, where there is no beginning and there is no end. So being in this loop of, oh my gosh, and in that window where I am right now, whatever happens, it's okay. It's okay, and I trust that it is for my best. And then I can take everything with joy and fun and like just observe without judgment. But yes, thank you for the reminder now. Like this kind of stuff, I think most of us, all of us know, but we just forget. We forgot that when we are during the day and we do work, when we meet other people we don't know, and kind of we forget. I think that's why in India you have Ganesha everywhere, and he reminds us that. I think I should have Ganesha all around me, so he reminds me all the time, just play, have fun, have fun. Because I think all these gods from India are just reminders to that power, to that value, to this kind of stuff, and it's all within us. So I think I need more Ganesha around me. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. I pass to the circle.
I will just quickly jump in and remind us that we have about 20 minutes left. And so I know, Daya, you haven't shared yet, but you don't have to share, only if you feel like it. But, I would give it to you then. And if you don't want to share, then whoever wants to. Alicia said something.
Thanks, Max. I think yeah, I can't share right now. I'm too much in the process. Thank you. This is great.
I would love to ask us, how can we bring the spirit of play and joy more into the Seeds ecosystem, even if we have the game guide that reminds us all the time, careful, it's just a game and let's have fun. But yeah, this document, only opening it up, oh my gosh, this game you don't want to play. But yeah.
We were actually going to change that name because people had a bad reaction to it. There is a big threat about changing the game guide into the seed guide or whatever. And at the end, nobody knows what happened.
I heard of that. I heard of that, but I didn't understand why does
it's now a legend. That's one of the legends of seeds.
Yeah.
We tried to change one name. It was impossible. Anyway, yeah, because when you go out in the world and like when people like try to like integrate seeds into their lives or their businesses and like accept the payments or whatever, and when you say we have a game guide, they were like, game, is that a game? It's like,
yeah,
is this a game? Like, you know, is this serious or is this like just like having fun?
You're more like lots of us oldies, you see. We didn't grow up with games, so it didn't mean anything to us. But I'm just suggesting that the only way of bringing play to seeds is not by talking or thinking, is by playing. So again, are we playing a game today? Apostle, you did a good job last time.
The time before that with the meditation, do you refer to that? Okay, yeah. Is that a game? It's kind of a game. It has rules, but it's something that has rules. That's um, it was fun for sure. We laughed a lot. Yeah.
Was it called social meditation?
Yeah, social meditation. Yeah. Well, it seems like you want to do a social meditation round. Does anyone else want to?
I would ask if anybody agrees, I don't know, or disagrees.
It's like more like, does there anybody object to doing that? Does anybody don't want to do it?
I just want to say something right here. You're like, I just I have to say it. It's like you're hitting the nail on the head. And Nadim, what you said about changing the language, I mean, this is actually what we have to do. We have to change the language, because this is how we frame our whole reality. And so I understand why it wouldn't work for people if it says the seeds game at this point in time. But it's actually vital that if we want to change the changes that on the exterior that we're doing, then global and all of that huge picture, then as Alicia's pointing out, as Alicia is pointing out, it's an absolute that we have to change our language, because I mean, just saying the word play, it gives you a different feeling than work. Work gives you a terrible feeling. Well, it does me anyway. Okay, I can't say that for everybody, but I mean, when I hear the word work, it's just like, it's like a thud. But when you hear the word play or game, it's like immediately, if you say to somebody, do you want to play, or do you want to play a game? It even ends on an up note, So I just had to say that. And yeah, I do want to do the social meditation too. That would be great.
And also, I might add that actually, if you are talking about actually doing really powerful creative work, the big companies have that in mind about creating situations where their people who work there would actually play a lot, or at least maybe I've heard a couple of big name companies that do that. Like they have like gaming places and ways to stimulate the play responses in people, and that's when all the creative, like very good creative work happens, when people are not just like there to end the day and go home, but when they're like, I think the right word is emotionally engaged. Like when they're like emotionally engaged in what they do and they're having fun and they're just like also like My thought became super fast, so I cannot continue.
Too fast to see or what?
Yeah,
Too fast to think?
too
Impossible.
fast to see. Anyway, let's drop that and just.
But I can confirm from huge companies in Germany like Mercedes, Porsche, and all these kind of organizations. I was there, and in the software development teams, you do the gamification for estimations, for even for paying. Like some circles, some groups, they do gamifying their own payment or their own. Yeah. So you have this card, these cards, a lot of cards you can do for team management. You have different games.
It's visible in social media. So, shall we play?
Okay, we have 10 minutes until the end. So if you want to do the meditation, we should probably start now before the end.
Does everyone want to do that? And like, does it work in 10 minutes?
Yeah, it works in 10 minutes. We would have we would have to be like 5 minutes overtime to, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes overtime, but we can do it in 10.
It didn't work what I wanted to try, but anyway, yeah. Anyway, start. What do you?
Okay, so I have to do an introduction again, then to social meditation, because some people were not here. We were just the 4 of us, and Barbara and Dean were not here then. So it's a meditation practice that is coming from the American pragmatic Dharma lineage, which of Kenneth Folk, and before that he studied with Mahasi Sadyao in the Burmese tradition, and the whole idea is to do meditation with other people. So instead of it usually involves labeling, and there are different ways to different things and different structures that you can use to do the noting and labeling. But if you do the most basic one, which is this is noting, it works like this. There is noting, sorry. So for example, there is breathing, there is warmth, there is sitting, there is smiling, there is a little bit of fun already. So you do it like that out loud, but then you take turns. So I do it first, then the other person, then the other person, then the other person. It usually works best for 4 to 5 people max. We are 6 here, so I think we can try to do 6 in one room. And the structure is I say the first noting, then another person, another person, another person, and we keep the same order. So as the first round, but the first round is just
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Yeah, I was looking for that word. Thank you. Okay, so I think that's enough for now, and we can start 10 minutes until 32, and then we have a round of how did it all went. And 2 things: if you don't wanna play, you can just say it now, and we will just include you from the round. And if you don't know what to say, you can just say pass or nothing, or pass or nothing. So if it doesn't give the pressure to actually like say something that you don't want to say, or You just pass and then the other person continues. So let's start. There is excitement.
There is a smile.
There is, here we go again.
There is a circle.
There is flow.
There is saliva.
There is silliness.
There is laugh.
There is Max.
There is joy.
Mm. There is silence.
There is a fuzzy, warm feeling in my belly.
Mm. There is temperature.
No, we have to go the same round. So
Oh, sorry.
Max, yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was.
No, it's not
No.
that playful. We have to stick to the rules.
Sorry. Their sense of
There-
humor.
There are actually other
Really?
rules for that, so you can play it sometimes that way as well.
Oh, thank you,
But
Oh no.
We laughed for about half an hour last time.
No, let's play, but listen.
I'm starting again. Okay, there is hilariousness.
There is saliva.
There's love.
So I just want to say, I don't know when it's my turn.
After Nadim, you're after Nadim.
Barbara.
I don't want to break the rules again.
People.
Thank you, Barbara. I had the same, so I had no idea, but now I know.
This is because you don't do that in 6 people group. Anyway,
there is pleasure.
Okay, it's me now.
Yes.
Okay. There is lightness.
Pass.
Ooh. Rebel.
there is aliveness.
There is air.
There is a great start in the day or the week. Ah,
Daya, you're after
sorry.
Daya.
There's waiting.
There is a raised hand from Daya.
There's love.
There is hair. It's true.
There's groundedness.
Oh.
There is touching the beard.
Mm.
There's expansion.
There's connection.
There are dogs.
There is flow.
There is joy.
There are 3 pairs of glasses.
There is painting.
There is excitement.
There's art.
There is a broken health insurance card. Too excited, sorry.
There is Max.
There is color.
There is peppermint essential oil.
There is parfum.
There is wonder.
There is a lot of air in my head.
There is a lot. There is happiness and joy.
Paper.
There is tea.
There is a seed for the week.
There are dogs playing.
There we are at the end of the half hour.
There are 2 more minutes.
On your clock.
Over time.
There's relief.
There is Nadim's turn.
I thought I'm after Daya. Come on.
You are? She said something.
Oh, I didn't hear.
God, how can I work with these people? It doesn't work like this. Okay, people, work.
Work with me here. Come on.
Do my best here, okay?
Okay, there is a checkout. No.
There is the see you soon.
There is, I love you all so much, and I really enjoy and appreciate everything about you people.
Okay, that felt like a checkout round. We should have a reflection round at the end. So I will start. It was fun, unexpected, and exciting. And we should definitely do it again.
I am glad it happened, despite the short time and we left at the end. And I'm glad it was laugh. There was laugh, and I love the dolphins.
I love you, Max, and all you said. It was so good. And yes, it was a yes.
I feel like we could do this every week, every last 20 minutes, kind of a ceremony for the inner space.
Or first.
Or first, whatever. Yeah. It would be an amazing start for the day or for the week, like having this joyful playing spirit.
I think that if we do it at the beginning, we might never stop and just do it for the whole hour and a half.
And that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right, we'll just do it in the beginning, in the end, and in the middle. We'll
We
just,
haven't heard from Max yet.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. What do I have to say? Yeah, same as before. Love you. I enjoyed. I also enjoyed the stuff before, by the way. Like for me, that was all play, so I was already in the spirit. No worries. But certainly, a game can bring up the spirit of play a lot easier. But yeah, I love it. And Apostle, are you here next time as well?
I think I am. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Just so we have a trained facilitator for this. You know?
Yeah.
Just so we.
I'm in the 3rd week of my training.
Woo! You're almost a master. I can feel it.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Thank you, I love the colors.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Green,
Beautiful.
yellow.
play,
red.
play. Excellent.
I played a little bit today as well.
Whoa!
I can't see
Amazing.
it. I can't see it.
And you,
Why?
No, I don't know why. It's like too low. Can you bring it up?
it's in my.
Oh, there you are. Oh, wow. So good.
Yeah.
Tiger in reality.
I like it, Alicia. Thank you.
I was there.
I started just playing with shapes.
Ah.
Oh.
Carbon.
Ding.
It will
Yeah,
need
it's-
some after work.
Yeah,
Next time.
Beautiful. I think I saw DMT in there as like a.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I saw it. But
On which week of the retreat are you, Max?
we're out of time. Sorry, people. So see you soon. Bye bye. Love you.
love you. Bye.